Hey, it's Brent. Welcome. It is time for another episode of Brainwashed. From the moment that we're born, literally the moment, we are brainwashed. We are programmed by the world around us. And that is the programming that's running inside of our minds till this very day. It's the programming that is destroying our lives. So what we're about here is breaking that programming, getting into our subconscious and changing the way we look at not only the world, but at ourselves and making those positive, lasting changes. And today, it's all about kids' games. So if you haven't followed, there are other episodes linked down below. If you'd like to go back and watch them, you can, or watch this episode today. If it's your first, you'll definitely get some fantastic information, then go back and watch them. All right. So today, it's Brainwashed Kids' Games. You know, kids are human beings too. And I know you know that, but sometimes we forget it. That makes them a part of the very same game that we're all in, the game of life. Your first objective in handling kids should be to get them to see that fact very clearly. There's so much that we are never taught. You know, in school they told us you need to learn to focus. Did anyone ever teach you to focus? If we had been taught early on the immense power that we have inside, everything would change for us. You know, we need to have kids understand that. Now, you can set up fairy tales or you can lay it on the line, but you must get them to see that they are really playing nothing but a game. Ever notice how a kid responds when you say to him, let's play a game? It's natural to them. You know, they really know the truth. So when you establish the fact that they're in a game with you and tell them what they have to do to win, they'll play along. It's back at that time when we're children, that childlike wonder, we lose that. But if you get to those kids early, when that is still happening, it will change everything with more fervor and more enthusiasm than you ever dreamed possible. Using examples, you must get them to the place where they can see the game and the fact that they set it all up. Also, that it makes absolute nonsense to set up any game and then lose it. Get them to look ahead at both sides of the coin, theirs and yours, before they come to you and ask to play. Have them get the idea of looking and knowing whether the game they created is going to fly with you. Now, if you didn't see the first videos in this series, they're going to be linked down below and go take a look. If you don't understand what I'm talking about when I'm talking about playing games, because life is just one big game and everything in it is just made up of smaller games that you've set up. We all try to win them, but to do that, we try to make other people wrong. And what we've been talking about is how to win those games without making anyone else wrong. And it's been fantastic. So if you haven't watched those videos, they're linked below. And go take a look at them. All right. So you want the kids to see both sides. It's important because if the kids don't look at both sides, it's easy for them to become genuine pains in the ass. And that translates to them thinking that their games are the only ones in town. Then you get to lose. If I were you, I'd tell my kids that my game is to enjoy life, and especially when I'm around them, so that when they get to be with you, they better set up the game to have you enjoy it, or they don't get to stay around for long. Take a restaurant. You know what those can turn into, right, with your kids? You ever go into a restaurant with your family or something and there's that one screaming kid in there? Every parent dreads that, right? The embarrassment and the red flush that comes over your face. Next time you go out to dinner with your kids, set it up so that your game is to enjoy yourself with them along for the ride. See how they can change their acts when the object of the game is to have you win. In fact, I'd set up very few rules with kids because rules generally turn out to be concepts. And kids, like you, can't deal with concepts. They can only deal with experiences. For example, you can make a rule for your kid which says you can't ride your bike in the street. A youngster can't deal with that. It's there to be broken simply because he knows that he can ride his bike in the street. His ability, there is no different than his ability in the driveway or in the backyard or on the sidewalk. In contrast, if you've had an experience with riding your bike on the street that you want to pass along, you can say, I rode my bike on the street and got hit by a car. You see, no rules. Or, as I observe things, people who ride bikes on the street sometimes get hit by cars. And when people get hit, it's just when they think they're safe. Very few people get hit when they expect it. Still, in that scenario, no rules. Now, I want to cite an exception to the no rule suggestion. Make one and make it this. Tell the truth. Have your kids understand that you absolutely will not tolerate anything but the truth, ever, and make it like gravity. You see, kids know not to buck gravity. Watch them. They come to the point of accepting it and dealing with it. And that's the way you should be about truth. Like gravity, it's always there, and it's immutable. And you should be the most unreasonable, unpredictable human being alive when you encounter a lie from your kid. Believe me, he will not tell them for long. Then get yourself out of the right-wrong game with your kids. Get to the point of acceptance of the videotape within them, so that when something happens, you should simply acknowledge the fact that you can't chase the tape and edit it. Imagine how your life would be different if you learned early on just to leave those things in the past, not to try to go in there and fix them and obsess over them and feel the pain and anger and hurt from them for years. Now let's combine the rule about truth and your choice to get to acceptance with your kid and look at an example. Let's say you wake up one Sunday and you find out that someone's been up just long enough to have put puzzle pieces and toys all over the house. It's obvious who the culprit is, and it immediately gets to you because you've already told the kid 10 times not to take the puzzles out of his room, not to make a mess. Again, stop and look before you go into vengeance. And remember what vengeance is. It's that old tape chasing exercise that you use all the time, going back in your past to try to find some reason why you're right here. What's your game? Your game is to get him to clean up the puzzle pieces, right? To learn from the experience. Then open with something like, what happened here? And when you get at the truth, reply with, fine, I can see that. Now I suggest you clean up the mess you've made. Let's take the vengeance side of the coin and look at that. In fact, let's act it out. Get up out of your chair and put you into the words that follow. Really get with it. Same situation. Puzzle parts all over to hell and back. It's the 10th time it happened this week. How many times do you have to tell that kid? So you walk up to him, you wag your finger in his face, and you scream. If you ever take another puzzle out of your room for any reason, I will beat you until your ass is red. You won't be able to sit for a week. Now clean up the puzzles and go to your room. Stand up right now and scream that as loud as you can. If you ever take another puzzle out of your room for any reason, I will beat your ass until it's so red you can't sit for a week. Clean up these pieces and go to your room. Great. Now, what did you get out of it? What did you feel? Did you win? Did you win the game you set up? What's the game? While we're with that one, take a look at whether you want to have a rule in the house about taking puzzle pieces out of the designated places. Do you really care where those puzzles are? Or is it that you want your kids to be responsible for their actions? Now you're getting the point. Just like you, the object with kids is very simple: to have them see that they're causing what happens to them, to get to the point of acceptance of the past, control of the present and the future, to be responsible for their actions, all of them. The final point I want to make about kids is that they already know where they're going. They start out on their natural river and they'll stay there really happy until they're tampered with. And they are. That translates to you assuming the role of having your kids take a look ahead at where they're going, to ask whether or not they're already there. If they can look at you and declare that they are, I urge you, to let them experience that. Have them go through it. See if they really are. And you should observe what happens when you let them run their games that way. If it gets results, keep it going. Get into the notion of asking your kids flat out, have you looked at that? What's true about it for you? Then take the time necessary to communicate with him about it. Open the space in your game to allow a youngster to get into whatever he wants to get into. Urge him to wander into all sorts of new games. Look at them. Know whether he's a player and then set it up for him to play. See if you can't expand your space to join them. And if you see that he's stuck somewhere, get with the idea of communicating with him about it. Ask, what is it about your problem that you don't see? Be very specific with him. Get to the truth, the real truth. And when you get there, be at acceptance with it. Then look ahead and see yourself for a solution. You'll be amazed at how creative you can be with a youngster's problem once you allow for that problem to be real. The result is that you'll see a young person who doesn't run his act on you. He'll get to see very clearly early on that the object of the game is simply to win it. And you'll have a happy kid on your hands because he'll know where he's going and that he's responsible for it totally. And he'll see that you're interested only in feeding his purpose, which is to get him where he's going, as long as you can win too. Then you'll get to see that you aren't raising your kid. What's going on is that you're elevating each other. And you get to be responsible for that. Totally responsible. Next, you'll confront a choice, whether or not to love your kids. You will know that they're on their own rivers, and you'll accept that. And you'll see that it's so easy to love someone who's riding on their river. It's true. The two of you get to float along together with no effort involved. Finally, you'll get to the absolute truth that you created the game called kids, and now you're winning that one too. What else is there? Next time, we're going to be back with another episode of Brainwashed, and the next one, man, it's the one you definitely want to hear. We'll be doing that on Friday. It's called The Truth That Will Get You Unstuck, and it is powerful. All right, so join me right back here on Friday for the next episode of Brainwashed. I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join me. If you have not joined our Facebook community, now is the time. We are like-minded people banded together because self-empowerment, it's all about taking control of our lives, letting go of the shit that no longer serves us, changing that programming by setting goals and making positive choices that give us lasting change. Because without it, you're just screwing around in your surface mind. Your surface mind will never change anything. You've got to go deep. You've got to get into the subconscious. It's the only way that it works. I spent 30 years learning all about the human mind and traveling around the world and teaching people about its amazing power. But that is the first thing you have to do, is understand that it's all in you. It all starts with you. So join our Facebook community. It is facebook.com/groups/students of self-empowerment. We would love to have you. We work hard each and every day on content for you guys in there. No matter where you are on your journey, you will definitely find something you can use right now. So again, invite your friends and family. Let everybody know. Facebook.com/groups/students of self-empowerment. And also don't forget to like our YouTube channel. Go and subscribe there. Over 200 videos. There's something there for everyone. Again, no matter where you are on your journey, we're all at different places, but no matter what you're going through, I'm pretty sure you're going to find something there that's going to help you. So go take a look. It's youtube.com/Taylor Web Television. youtube.com/Taylor Web Television. Imagine this. Waking up in the morning feeling joy, inspiration, motivation, love, gratitude, success, and just overall being happy with your life. Do you ever feel defeated, struggling with lack of direction, wondering when it's going to be your turn? Feeling like you aren't progressing in life, or at least not as fast as you'd like? Struggling to identify your next steps? I can help. Gain clarity, unlock insights, provide support, and help you identify easy to follow, simple goals that will transform your life into the life that you truly desire to live. If you'd like some more information, just go to brentwebb.info/coaching. brentwebb.info/coaching. No matter where you are, if you need a little more help, I can help. So take a look, brentwebb.info/coaching. I want to thank you again for joining me today. I'll be back again on Friday with another episode of this. We also have a guided meditation for you coming Friday, so watch out for that. How you can help us is by spreading the word. The engagement goes by the likes and the comments and the shares and all of that stuff. So please, this is positive messaging. This is about changing the world. So help us out. Get the word out, all right? Like everything, subscribe to everything, share, do your part, and we'll continue to do ours, all right? So I'll leave you today like I do all the time. It goes like this. Don't worry. Be happy and feel good. I'll see you next time. Have a great day.